Do you get frustrated when your FIFA Ultimate Team player shoots like that? Well, I do, as you can see. But luckily, I found the guys at Foot Helper who helped me not to make my players shoot like absolute Josh McGinnises. And they can help you as well. If you want your weekend league games doing for you, if you want a bit of guidance, if you want some tips and tricks, you can, ask those to do it for a price, and you can get a discount if you use my code OldGrandpaJoe at checkout for 20% off your order. Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the preview for the opening game of the League One season. It is Hull City away at Gillingham. As you can see there, Saturday the 12th of September 2020 at 3 p.m. Playing away at Gillingham's ground, the Priest Field Stadium. Tigers TV Live for £10. However, the club they've been lazy with the website now, so they don't have to do anything. And so what they do is they just write it all, give it to the EFL, and they publish it or whatever. So now there isn't a dedicated hub for Tigers TV. I believe it's all done through iFollow or whatever. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to read a little bit more into that. But it's gonna be interesting, this game, and we'll get on to why in a little while. But first, familiar territory for the team news. Josh McGinnis and James Scott both returned from international duty for the first game of Hull City's League One campaign against Gillingham. Callum Elder is also close to returning. Grant McCann said that after the defeat to Leicester City on Tuesday, that Elder is very close. Louis Coyle still has one game left in his suspension. The AFL Trophy game didn't count as part of that suspension, but Coyle picked up a knock in pre-season and will have recovered by the time the first league home game of the season against Crewe Alexandra comes around, after the tie against Leeds United in the Carabao Cup. Leo da Silva Lopez about 1 or 2 weeks away from return to full fitness. Tom Eaves is still injured. Eaves picked up an injury against Sunderland in the Carabao Cup and left the stadium and light in a protective boot. No time has been placed on Eaves' return. George Long picked up an injury in training before the Sunderland game and returned yesterday. Long may be in contention for a place against Gillingham after picking up a minor hand injury in training. So it was just a minor hand and finger injury. It was nothing about him, McCann, Malik Wilkes, whoever, getting the fists out after a pre-season in-house friendly or whatever. Yeah. Now, in terms of ref watch, don't have a clue. At time of recording, it's not been confirmed. You might see it in the comments if I can get hold of the information on all that stuff before the video goes out. And if I do, it will be a pinned comment. Don't you worry about that. Stats then. Hull City had 55.8% of possession against Leicester under 21s. Leicester had 11 shots, Hull City had 8. The Tigers had 3 shots on target in the 90 minutes of football. Grant McCann's side had a pass accuracy percentage of 68.7%. City won 92.3% of tackles. City won 50.9% of aerial duels. What do I think then? We were better against Leicester than we were against Sunderland. Again, I've noticed 3 spelling errors in that. I'm just typing it quick, I'm sorry. Jordan Hickey got unlucky with the penalty incident. That should say Jordan Hickey got. That's 4. I'd give Elder a few more days rest because we know he's quite injury prone. Matt Ingram will keep his place over George Long, but Long will get on the bench over Harvey Cartwright. Gillingham are in good form and this game won't be easy. But now then, on to the head-to-head battles. This isn't statistics. This is back to normal now. And Vaden Oliver will have to get past Jordi Device if he wants to score like he did against Crawley Town for Gillingham in the EFL Trophy. And Lewis Potter will have to get past Zek Medley, someone who came through Arsenal's youth setup and is now at Gillingham. Now then, we go to the opposite view. And I have got myself a Gillingham fan who's committed to coming on this preview, and it is the YouTube channel German Gills. Talking English, don't worry, because if they spoke German and I had to subtitle it, it'd half be wrong, and they'd be saying Gillingham will win 1-0 and and someone saying Gillingham are my caption would end up being somewhat along the lines of Gillingham are eating cheese or something like that. So I did German for 1 year in year 7, and then the teacher left, and my school committed to only doing French and Spanish, and then German was binned out the system by my school anyway, which is fun. So I'm going to hand you over now to German Jills, so take it away.
Hi guys, German Jills here, and would you look at that? I'm on a Hull City channel. I'd like to thank old Grandpa Joe for sending me a Twitter message and to give a little bit of an insight of my thoughts and predictions for our fixture against Hull City next week. Well, as time of recording. But it's the first game of the season, and it's a really exciting one. Like I say, the last time we played Hull was in 1985 at Priestwell Stadium, and it was a 1-0 victory. I wasn't alive then, old Grandpa Joe wasn't alive then. So, here's my thoughts for the game coming up. I think it's going to be a really interesting game. I'm happy Tom Eaves is coming back to Gillingham. It's going to be really interesting. I always like to say we made him the player he was, but it'll be good to see him back in the stadium. And just to give you a bit of an overview of kind of the players that we've had in this season, if I go and show you on my desktop here, we've got quite a few players coming in. So we've got Jacob Mellis, Ryan Jackson, Robbie McKenzie, Carl Dempsey, Van Dane Oliver, Alex McDonald, Jordan Graham, Zach Medley, Trey Coyle, Lee Hodgson, who has actually gone away for us at Hamilton Academical for the season, and we've got Christian Maghomer. We have quite a new, fresh team this year. There's hardly any players here from last season. A lot of them have gone off to other teams, either in League 1, 2, or to Ireland as well. But the one that I would actually highlight in terms of the transfers that are coming, we've got 2 Arsenal under-23s in Trey Coyle and Zach Medley. They're the ones I would keep an eye on. Zach Medley, very tall centre-back, played pretty well against Southend, really good at getting up in the air, really good aerial threat, and Trey Coyle, a lot of the Arsenal fans have been saying that they're going to keep an eye on how he's progressing at Gillingham. It's the first time he's played at a competitive level rather than just in the under-23s at Arsenal. So this will be a really good experience for him. But I think the player to look out for is going to be Connor Ogilvie, who was our Player of the Year last year. Really good player. Plays in defence, but also really prolific up front. Scored loads of goals last season, and even recently just scored against Southend, as you can see now. Got to get this in. Okay. Come on! Yes! Come on! What a ball! What a ball! So in my opinion, he's the one to be looking out for. He was doing that all last season as well. But my predictions, I think it's going to be a score draw. I'm going to go 2-2. That's what I'm going to think. But old Grandpa Joe, thanks for letting me in your channel. Good success for you on your YouTube channel, and good success for Hull for the rest of the season. Just not against the Jills. Los Gates Jills!
Alright then, thank you very much to German Jills for doing that. Make sure you go and subscribe to them. Link is in the description. Also, the Twitter was on screen as well. Honestly, when YouTubers say underrated and things like that, I genuinely mean it with these guys. Their content, top notch, put a lot of effort in. As you can see with that clip, they put a lot of effort into everything that they do. So please, just go and drop them a subscription. Leave them some positive feedback. Watch the stuff. Because, honestly, they're good guys. They're good guys. Anyway, on to the current form now. We've taken a win-ish and a loss in our last 2 games. Gillingham, 2 wins. They beat Southend 1-0 in the Carabao Cup and beat Crawley 2-1 in their EFL Trophy group. The league table will fill that in once the first game's been played. And once the Carabao Cup starts forming a bit more, if we beat Leeds, then I'll create a little tournament table thing that we can have a little look back on as we get towards the end of the season. And the FA Cup as well, we'll make a little bit more of that when we enter that in the first round proper. But we can have a look at the EFL Trophy Group H Northern category, our group. It says when I look that Grimsby had 3, which I honestly do not understand whatsoever, because I thought the rule was that you'd get only one extra point for the extra thing. But I've just looked on a different app, and it says that it's 2 points, so I don't know what to believe. I'm going to believe this app which I've looked on, though, because it is Sky Sports, and I was looking on different apps and just on Google for it. But, yeah, Grimsby and Harrogate drew, I believe it was 2-2, and Grimsby got the extra point on penalties. I'm just going to check that for you quickly. Let me have a look. EFL Trophy, scroll down. Yeah, it was 2-2, which means it's 5, and Grimsby won 5-4 on penalties. And one footballer's got this wrong here. One footballer's got this very wrong. I'm just going to change that quickly. There we go. That sorts that out. I was looking on One Football for that, and they got it wrong. I thought it looked a bit odd considering the drew, but hey ho. I know to trust Sky Sports more now then. Anyway, let's move on to around the grounds for League 1 Matchday 1. Sunderland played Bristol Rovers, Portsmouth versus Shrewsbury Town, Plymouth versus Blackpool, Northampton Town play AFC Wimbledon, Lincoln City play Oxford United, Fleetwood Town face Burton Albion, Doncaster Rovers welcome Milton Keynes Dons to the Keith Moat Stadium, Crewe Alexandra play Charlton Athletic, Accrington Stanley play Peterborough United, Swindon Town face Rochdale, and that will do it, and we move on to shared shirts. And you can see there's a few that I could do for this. I could do Alfie Jones, Robbie McKenzie, but I'm going to go for Tom Eaves, because Eaves has been with City for a year, and I could also do Tom Eaves for Shrewsbury, which I may well do. Tom Eaves, born in Liverpool, 28 years old now. Actually, his birthday is a day after mine. The striker played for Gillingham between 2017 and 2019. In 84 games, scored 38 goals. And for us, he joined us after his stint at Gillingham. And in 40 games for us so far, he's scored 5 goals. Tom Eaves should be good for us in League 1 this year. Just hope that injury isn't too long for the lad. But yeah, definitely better at Gillingham than he has been for us so far. We'll quickly touch on Robbie McKenzie. We just released him. And Alfie Jones, he was on loan at Gillingham last year from Southampton, and we've snapped him up permanently. Now then, we're on to the good bit, let's say. My predicted 11. Matt Ingram in goal with a back four of Josh Emanuel, Jordi Device, Reece Burke and Brandon Fleming, with Richie Smallwood the captain, Greg Docherty and George Honeyman in the middle, Malik Wilkes on the right, James Scott on the left and Keane Lewis Potter leads a line. It better be Lewis Potter. Better be Lewis Potter. If it's Josh McGuinness, I'm going to scream. On the bench, George Long, Callum Elder, Dan Batty, Martin Samuelson, Alfie Jones, Josh McGuinness and Callum Jones. That is what I think Grant McCann will go for. Now then we move on to what I would play. So I've changed the formation. You can see it was a 4-3-3 for Grant McCann. I am making it a 4-4-2. It's Matt Ingram in goal, back four of Josh Emanuel. That doesn't say Sean McLaughlin this time. I've fixed it. I've remembered. Jordi Device, Jacob Greaves. We'll touch on that quickly. Jacob, I thought, was fantastic against Leicester. Now, I do understand that playing an under-23s and under-21s team or whatever is a bit different to playing in League 1. But Jacob, he proved for Cheltenham last year that he can play at League 2 level. And I think, let's face it, he looked better than Burke and Device have done. Maybe having Burke or Device alongside him, I've gone for Jordi Device. alongside him will be very, very decent. And yeah, Jacob, I'd put him in there personally. No bias, not just because he's been on my podcast, I promise. Brandon Fleming at left back with Martin Samuelson on the right, 2 centre mids, Richie Smallwood and Greg Doherty. Malik Wilkes on the left with Keane Lewis Potter and James Scott, the 2 strikers. The bench, George Long, Reece Burke, Dan Batty, Alfie Jones, George Honeyman, Josh McGuinness and Callum Jones, another youngster who was fantastic in the week. That's the team in full. I was debating putting Billy Chadwick in there, can't lie. James Berry's unlucky to miss out as well, but I think McGuinness, a bit more experience in there. McGuinness will just, shore it up a little bit more. Because he's more... I was going to say he's more reliable, but based on last year, he ain't, is he? So that is what the 2 teams look like compared. Let me know whose you prefer in the comments. I personally think man will yield more results because it's clear that McCann's 4-3-3 hasn't worked for a while. But yeah, it's on to predicted score now, and I've just remembered I've not made the graphic. Fantastic. Give me a moment. So, in terms of predicted score then, this game could go either way. It's just hard to see which way it'll go because I think it'll be a very even game. We don't look... Well, in the Sunderland game, we didn't look like scoring. And we do look like we can concede. But I think maybe Lewis Potter and getting Scott back, will help us out a little bit in that regard. And if we can shore up the defence a little bit compared to what we were against Sunderland and not leaking as many balls through. Let's remember, Sunderland had the ball in the net twice. So just got to be wary of that. Yeah. So I reckon it will be a very tight game, but we will just edge it 2-1. And that is where this preview ends. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please do leave a like on it. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you very soon. Well, I'll see you tomorrow for the match reaction. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.